Walls, une première salle d'applaudissements s'il vous plaît pour les champions de la LMS. Quatre fois champions consécutivement dans leur région. Ils sont la très grande surprise des group stage de ce MSI. Je vous demande, le Zénith, Paris, encore une fois s'il vous plaît, de faire du bruit pour ces joueurs Flash Walls. Et sur la top lane, une salle d'applaudissements s'il vous plaît pour le très talentueux Anabi. Dans la jungle, c'est le jeune joueur coréen Muchin. Sur la mid lane, le vétéran Maple. Au poste de Cariadé, des encouragements s'il vous plaît pour Betty. Et au poste de support, le stratège de l'équipe Sword Heart. Des applaudissements également pour le coach de l'équipe War Horse. Et le support, bien entendu, une salle d'applaudissements, s'il vous plaît, pour Morning. Pour les Flash Walls, une dernière fois, on les encourage, s'il vous plaît.
Et bien sûr, Chips, leurs adversaires ne peuvent pas être négligés. Champions de Corée, la région la plus compétitive du monde. J'ai nommé les Kings. Il faut en avoir besoin. Peu d'équipes peuvent se vanter d'avoir battu une équipe coréenne en BO5. Ils viennent ici à Paris pour gagner et pour faire prévaloir la domination de leur région. S'il vous plaît pour les Kingson, une fois de plus. Sur la top lane, le conquérant, Khan. Dans la jungle, le prodige, Peanut. Sur la mid lane, l'homme qui marche dans les pas de Faker, BTT. On a des carries, le tueur, prêt. Et afin de le soutenir, bien sûr, Gorilla! Et enfin, bien sûr, leur coach, Axine! Ainsi que, bien sûr, le jungler remplaçant, Cuz! S'il vous plaît, une dernière fois pour Kingzone, un tonnerre d'applaudissements! Mesdames et messieurs, vous pouvez prendre place, car cette deuxième demi-finale est sur le point de commencer. Une dernière fois pour les deux équipes, s'il vous plaît, un tonnerre d'applaudissements.
Both teams looking to challenge RNG tomorrow in the finals. Neither team in their home region, but the Parisian crowd, very warm welcome handed to both of these squads as they take to the stage today. Now, the winner of today's best of 5 will move forward to the finals taking place tomorrow against RNG, who put on quite the show yesterday against Fnatic.
And that's the thing, RNG really didn't have to stress so many strategies. They came out with the Caitlyn, they kind of rolled over Fnatic, but still a very close 3-0.
Yeah, the games had Fnatic with a gold lead in all 3 of them, but they could never quite get over the hump to killing RNG's Nexus.
Yeah, I think they managed to give the European fans a lot of hope in each game, and I'm glad they never actually backed down. They didn't try and change the strategy. They kept looking like the same team over and over, but let's be honest here, they were outmatched towards the end of each game, and that's why they lost 3-0.
Some questions definitely raised, though, about the state of RNG as they looked near unbeatable at the end of the group stage, and because of those gold leads built yesterday, Jat, the question is, hey, would another team with similar gold leads be able to bridge that gap?
Yeah, and that's something we're going to have to judge based on today's games as well, because RNG didn't have to change their strategy that often. We don't know how much more they have in the tank.
So let's dive right into it. Moving on to today's series, despite what felt like a total implosion for the Flash Wolves at Worlds 2017 and moving into 2018, the representatives from the LMS finished top 2 in MSI groups and must face a Korean team in the semifinals here.
And that's the thing, you know, losing Karsa, losing that Karsa Maple Star synergy, a lot of people discounted Flash Wolves, but they came in very hot and heavy into the group stage, rolling over everyone with massive leads, and particularly in the early game.
In such a weird tournament, if you are a Korean fan, and we were all sitting back home doing the split, watching a Kingzone team destroy the LCK, and felt like, okay, they were gonna be unbeatable. But we have seen multiple members have issues when it comes to carrying games. Like Khan does not look like the guy we saw back in the LCK. BDD is no longer the guy who can just always get control of mid, and has left a lot of questions around Kingzone.
Exactly, and you look at how much they dominated the LCK, and then you also look at their international track record as a region. The LCK, 19-3 in best of fives against other regions all time. And if you just look at MSI history, 2 out of 3, the last 5 world championships, they've been so dominant, and Kingzone has looked shaky.
Well, this stat actually just makes it so hard with today's game, because you want to just look at a group stage and say, Flash Wolves look like the stronger team. They know exactly how to beat Kingzone. But because it is a best of 5, because they've had a couple of days now to look back at what went wrong during the group stage, it just feels so hard.
Always the adjustment period.
Exactly. It feels so hard to say, oh, no, this time it will not be the Korean team winning.
Well, let's try and parse through it a little bit to see how we got to the point where most pre-tournament predictions went totally awry. Look no further than the performances in the top lane, I think, with these two squads.
Yeah, for me, Khan, it's his individual performance. We've seen the carries, we've seen the tanks from him, but it's mostly just his decision-making that he's making on the map. You know, some of these teleports and the likes.
Yeah, and then you also have on the other side, Hanabi has been so strong in different situations. You thought he was just a tank player, then he pulled out the Yasuo up against Kingzone, and as a rookie, that was very unexpected, not to mention how often they've been able to blind pick his champion for the team.
That one is really important for their draft, which is something we can discuss later as well, but Hanabi often gets left kind of on his own, and he needs to do well against very, very good top laners. Khan is then the guy who normally punishes that. He will destroy you if you leave Khan alone. Not this tournament.
The thing that I'm really impressed, though, with Hanabi is his ability to recognize what his responsibility is to his team, however. When he's on a tank, we heard Fnatic talk about this guy is constantly grouping, he's not playing the side lanes, and it's because he recognizes exactly what Flash Wolves need from him in any particular moment.
It's probably fair to say that Khan has not really recognized what Kingzone needed from him in a lot of the games. When he's been on a tank, or when he was on the Vladimir, he had bad TPs, or he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, like this example we see here where he just ends up dying. That's the TP I just referred to before you, where it's not even necessary. They've already left the team fight, and he comes in and he just ends up dying. And it's been a very rough tournament because he's not been able to just dominate 1v1.
I think it's interesting to think about the fact that over the last 2 years, if you think top lane, you think Khan. That name will rise to the top of a lot of discussions. You think the last 2 years, you think top lane. Hanabi was not a name that was known for many people prior to this tournament alone. And so what a task he has ahead of him, a best of 5 against Khan, even though he has found success so far in the group stages against him. But with that, I want to turn our attention to the prediction phase, that fun game we like to play around these best of 5. So who do you believe will deny, or rather make that trip to the finals and challenge RNG for the MSI title? Chat, we're going to start down there.
Yeah, you look at the way the Kingzone played in the group stage, and I don't think that's Kingzone's level. I think they will be able to recover a little bit for the best of 5 stages. And I look at how Flash Wolves was able to start 6-0, but finish 1-3. And I think Kingzone's going to be able to figure out what I think is a relatively fragile game state that Flash Wolves been able to win in. And I think if Kingzone plays more like they did in the LCK, Khan with confidence, Peanut with confidence, aggressive play that they haven't been able to hit, they'll win 3-1.
Jat, trust that the homework's been done for the side of Kingzone. Deficio, what are you thinking?
I'm going Kingzone 3-2. I also trust it will look better But I still think there'll be some issues for them. They will definitely lose some of these early games. They will have some issues in certain drafts where Sword Art gets a counter pick and bam, Flash Wolves can just fire off and actually do really well. But the reason I think the 3-2 kicks in is because Flash Wolves' late game, I'm not confident they will always be able to close out these games. I'm not confident they can always manage to secure that first Baron against Kingzone. So I think there will be some of these games that will bounce back. And then I can see, with the flexibility of a Kingzone lineup towards the end of this, they know how to draft and they know how to beat Flash Wolves.
Frostgun, what do you got for me?
I'm going to go Flash Wolves. I think when there's smoke, that there's fire, and I'm tired of a lot of people just banking on the fact that this is the Korean team. They cannot be infallible in a best-of-5. I think we need to separate some of Kingzone from Korea. This is Khan that's underperformed multiple times on an international stage, including at Worlds. This is Sword Art against Prey and Gorilla. He has a winning record against this duo right now, and I think that stylistically, Flash Wolves hitting hard and early. Yes, if Kingzone play how they did domestically, they're just going to go toe-to-toe. I don't necessarily say LCK go back to that aggressive style and then roll over Flash Wolves.
Well, unlike yesterday, we have a split desk this time around, so I want to get into a little bit more why these predictions are made and how you think they might be fulfilled with some win conditions for these squad. Jat, you talk about maybe the homework being done for Kingzone. In your mind, what answers do they need to have arrived at in order to take down Flash Wolves?
Yeah, well, looking at Flash Wolves' successes, I think where Kingzone ends up starting. When you see Flash Wolves win, Mugen has the highest jungle proximity as well as camping mid lane for most of the game. Then they also get the pressure mid lane so that they can go bottom lane with a range support counter pick and kind of get that pressure. But if anything of that changes, if Khan can take over in the top lane, or if they can actually just get some of those power picks, I think they can foil some of the things Flash Wolves have been working on.
But I actually really like how Flash Wolves springboard Mugen into those setups. Out of 11 games, they've invaded level 1 8 times, and so Flash Wolves understand exactly how to separate the map, how to get their jungler ahead. I think they recognize that this is such a vital strategy, as much as Kingzone will also recognize that they need to shut down Mugen.
Deficio, you were the 3-2 pick here, so I want to watch you kind of try and reconcile these points between the two other analysts.
I agree with everyone. Both teams can win, but yeah. I think because Flash Wolves have focused so much on this one specific style, where there is a lot around having invading jungler and a bot lane that can push, right. Kingzone can go into the very first draft phase, which I think will actually be the most important one for the entire series, because it will show us if these teams are reading each other. Kingzone can go in and say, we will actually last pick for Gorilla this time. We will try and have a winning bot lane. And let's see then if Hanabi is ready, first game on stage, to grab a carry top and go toe-to-toe again.
I can feel the energy on the desk. I know you guys want to jump in some more, but it's time for some gameplay. So we're going to toss it up to the casters to get us into game 1 of this semi-final series.
Merci beaucoup, Dash. Bienvenue, mesdames et messieurs. Welcome to Paris. I speak a little of the local language. I am Freak, here with Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler, Chris, Papa Smithy Smith. Who's excited like me?
I don't know exactly like Freak, if we can be excited like
approximation, I guess. Exactly. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Regional champions, Flash Wolves on your left, winning the LMS so many times in a row. Kingzone on the far right, formerly Longju last year, 2-time LCK champions as well, hoping this will not be a knockout stage exit like it was at Worlds last time.
Certainly an impressive resume here from Kingzone, you know, and they should be the feared team. Yeah. Should be kind of the top of the table. However, Flash Wolves have really upset that table here at MSI so far.
And already we might be surprised that Flash Wolves have chosen blue side for game number 1. Kingzone this tournament 5-1 on the red side. The Flash Wolves, the last time these two teams faced, it was Flash Wolves blue side.
And the Flash Wolves, last time they did play versus Kingzone, so just supreme confidence. It was so inspiring. They first picked and blind picked all 3 of their top side of the map champions. Blind pick Camille for Hanabi, Mugen takes the Graves, and Maple the Talia as well for themselves. And they were able to play off of that without having to worry about bottom lane ban.
And they played against the tendencies of Cuz, who was in the jungle on that day. We do have Peanut.